Hey, welcome to DrinkConnector.com. I'm your host, Josh Wade, and it's a rainy afternoon in Spokane, Washington. Down here at Vino, a wine shop. Going to be heading inside, talking to the owner, learning about the different discount programs and one-of-the-month programs that they have, and hopefully introduce you guys to something new in Spokane. Vino is definitely a trusted resource for wine in Spokane. John and his staff do a phenomenal job of tasting through all of the wines that you see on the shelf and make their recommendation based off of their tastes. And you'll see the tasting notes that they have to offer. They do have under $15 variety of wines to choose from as well, and other high quality product that you can trust has been tasted through. Another great thing about Vino is that they're constantly having events to help educate the public about wine in general. You'll pretty much find events here every Friday and Saturday. They'll bring in winemakers and have winemaker tastings. They'll have tastings of their sale wines of the month. And they'll also do classes of wine education. So if you're looking for wine events to participate in, I really encourage you to check out their website and stay up to date on what's happening at Vino. I've been here at Vino, a wine shop, for the last hour or so, talking with John Allen, the owner. I had a phenomenal time. I appreciate you having me here.
Happy to have you here.
How did you actually get here? Why Vino? Why now? What's the history?
I ran away from being a bureaucrat. I left a job as a college admissions officer and bounced around doing a number of jobs, and one day I was unemployed. My brother called up and he said, "You still unemployed?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, I think the Washington wine business is going crazy, so I think we ought to get into the wine business." So
and when was that?
It was 1988, 87, 88.
Starting to go crazy.
So I got a job at Lindemann's restaurant. I got a job at the Crescent downtown. He and I together ended up buying a local wine shop, and 18 months later went out of business, and I moved next door and set up a little wine shop in the coffee store at Four Seasons. And then within about 4 years, some friends and I got together our resources and said, let's start a wine shop.
And you said, I'm not going to do the things on the one that went out of
business. Yeah. Learn have somebody watch money more closely than I did. That's for sure.
Well, I think one of the things that, and we were talking about this, that makes the business model so successful and the repeat business and the customer base that you have is the Wine of the Month Club.
Right.
People may not be familiar with how it works. I wasn't until I really sat down with you. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, briefly, it's a club where if a person is willing to accept a bottle of wine a month that we pick, we'll give them a free place to keep it in the back of our store.
Sure.
That's what these are. Right. And a person who says yes to that picks a category. They pick a category of under $15 a month, under $20 a month, or under $30 a month. Essentially, that's where most people are.
Right.
And they pick either red or white. They're always a dry dinner wine. There's no sweet wines, and there's no dessert wines, and there's no sparkling wines. But they're always a good representation of their style. For instance, if we put a Sauvignon Blanc in, it's going to be something that represents what most people consider to be a standard Sauvignon Blanc. Right. It's not some wild off-the-wall thing, or something we got cheaply and want to just move through.
Right.
This is our customers stay with us. We have a remarkable retention rate, and it's, I think, because we take the time to pick wine by taste. And we don't put, like in the Wine of the Month Club, there's some of the best wines that we do taste in their price category.
Right.
And the rest of the store, we don't put anything on the shelf unless we've tasted it and our committee likes it. So it's kind of a standard of quality that we shoot for.
So a customer, I walk in, I go out there, I'm looking through the store, and I can know that 4 out of 5 Vino employees recommend.
Yeah, absolutely. Or at least 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
And the tasting notes that you see listed under the bottle are our tasting notes.
Right.
We don't just copy something off the internet or use the poop sheet that comes with the wine. It's actually our words. That's it's what we think.
Another aspect you have that helps to retain customers and really drive business as well is you created a membership program.
Right. Aside from the Wine of the Month Club, we created another club we call the Connoisseur Club.
Oh.
For people who, and it was driven by a person who asked me what kind of a discount could they get, because the high-end wines that we charge for are often, well, I mean, if they can go to Costco and get the same price or get the same wine for less money, why should they shop here? Right. So we created a kind of a Costco membership. In fact, it reduces the price for them to near Costco prices. And that's a club that we created called the Connoisseur Club. They pay us $50. And then for an entire calendar year from that day, every wine they buy in the store, aside from the Wine of the Month Club, which requires a lot of work, every wine they buy in the store for a year is 15% off the regular listed price on the bottle.
Right.
And when we have a big sale, they get 25%.
25%.
So
wow.
they get the biggest discounts we give anybody.
Yeah, and that's more of a discount than you see on some of these, 11-hour sales or something like that.
Oh, sure. And it also, if you think about ordering online, where sometimes the prices can be really low, you have to pay a pretty whopping lot for shipping alcohol these days. Yeah. And once a month, we drive to Seattle, and we pick up wines that people have special ordered through us. And so we bring them back from the Seattle market. So our access to wine through our store is really much more vast than most retailers can afford to do in Spokane.
So what are some next steps? We talked about in this ever-changing world we live in, and online and social media and everything. What are some of the next steps that you have around the corner?
Well, we did get ourselves a Facebook page.
And I'm a fan.
Oh, good. Thank you very much. And we announced little events that are coming up on Twitter.
Sure.
But primarily we're shooting for an opportunity where when we send out an email, which we do once a week to anybody who wants to be on our email list, we want it to be able to, instead of having to say, respond with an email, we want to be able to say, click here, it takes you to our website, which shows you how to order, or just plug in how many you want and say buy, and do it like lots of commercial reels.
Sure.
Real purchases are happening all over the internet. We want to be at that level. And we're not there yet, but we're on our way.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate the time. What wine are we have right here? Did you?
Well, I picked a little Washington unusual grape. It's called Blue Franc by the winemaker, who is Jed Steele in California.
Okay.
He calls himself the home of wayward grapes. It's actually the grape Lemberger.
Ah, okay.
And Lemberger in the state of Washington. It's grown in the state of Washington and in Austria, and to some degree in Germany. But Kiona actually was the founder of the Lemberger group. But here's to a little Washington wine industry.
That's awesome.
Mine and yours.
That's right.
Good for you.
Yep.